Yeah, I've been feeling it's about time to make a new video for a while. Had several inspirations to do one in the last few weeks, maybe even a few months. And so thinking about what's most important uh, in my life, what little life I have, uh, in terms of, anything I would like the broader public to know about. uh, uh, you know, uh, I think of myself as a theoretical occultist. I think I've, up until recently, had made two major discoveries. I mean, there's noodling around. I could go all day on noodling around, you know, put Disney and Warner Brothers cartoon characters on the Tree of Life or whatever. But at least in my own estimation, I've made two very important discoveries in the realm of what I will call, for lack of a better term, hermetic occultism. This is like what I'm about. It's what I'm about on the internet. If I had to choose one thing, I've made it as clear as possible that that's what I'm about in so many ways. And, you know, it's either seeped through or it hasn't, I guess, at this point. But yeah, this last year, sometime within the last 365 days, maybe even more like sometime within the last 3 months, I've made my third uh, discovery in hermetic occultism, for lack of a better term. You might call it uh, new school world hermetic occultism. And I'm not even sure I will ever uh, attempt to portray this as anything but, fiction juice or what's that term? Acid toy. But I consider it a major discovery for reasons I'm not sure I would be able to elucidate as well as possible, but I'll give it the old college try right about now. It has this certain it's just tight is what I'd call it. It's so tight. And what it is I have chosen 13 the 13 major religions in a roundabout sort of way. There's actually more like 13, 12, 11, 10. There's actually more like 10 major religions uh, uh, assigned to assigned to astrological signs. And why I think it's why I think it's so important or cool, and B, why I bother with it, although in a way those are kind of the same thing, uh, is that there is, shall we say, a method to my madness. There's a broader pattern to it. So, and it has to do with somebody got me interested in history, maybe not so much interested in history, but directed my attention towards history. And I got to thinking, well, if I was to make my mind go in a slightly more historical direction, what kind of kooky ass bullshit would I do? What would be my gig? Not trying to, not trying to, and almost certainly deliberately trying not to go with historical convention. In other words, I took the directing of my attention to be a sign that it was part of my spiritual path to look in a more historical direction, even though it's only has the barest possible relationship to history uh, from many important contexts. At any rate, the broader pattern is four spiritual empires. Um, and so for the fire signs, I have, the Middle East, the Abrahamic religions. For the water signs, I have the Western world and and three important mythologies is what I assigned to the Western world. For air, I have the three religions of India: Jainism, Sikhism, and Hinduism. And for earth, I have China. Uh, for earth signs, I have China, and the three religions I chose were Taoism, Confucianism, and Buddhism. I know that Buddhism originates in India, but before I even came up with this, I had already been saying, that Buddhism is India's export religion. Although there's more to be said about that, it will be said later. So yes, let's take up the fire signs. For Aries, I have Judaism. For Leo, I have Christianity. For Sagittarius, then of course would be Islam. Um, all of this is going to be part of my podcast, and possibly will be written as a book. Um, and if I do, I will have plenty to say about plenty of other things in relation to that. Zoroastrianism comes most immediately to mind, but there are several other things. It's an intriguing area. I've been kind of a comparative religion freak for like ever, somewhat of a comparative religion freak. But what that really means is, I read introductory texts more than once. uh, I'm more of a read it again kind of guy, and historically, some major thinkers have been more read it again type guys than I am, an avid reader who's read thousands of books. I've read about 200 books. Yeah. So next, I'm going Kabbalistic order just for shits and giggles. Next, for the water signs, is a European civilization, and I have three mythological systems. That would be the Egyptian, even though Egypt, I know, is not Europe. But in terms of history, in terms of the history of idealistic thought, somewhere in that arena, you know, Egypt is the most important of the pre-Greek civilizations, it seems to me. It's the one that always gets mentioned, at least traditionally. So yeah, Egyptian, Greek, Greco-Roman, and Norse. And okay, so for Egyptian, I have Scorpio. Egyptian Book of the Dead, the important death being one of the just probably the most major theme in Egyptian mythology. Don't quote me on that, but I think an argument could be made, at least. For Greco-Roman, I have hold it. I have Pisces, especially since the Greco-Roman world is the environment from which we get Christianity, whose early symbol was the fish. And for uh, the Norse, then, of course, is Cancer, and I'm just kind of going towards, the Vikings, maritime, the crab. And okay, so that's water, air. So for let's see. Okay, yeah. So for Gemini, I have Sikhism. It's the religion where they carry a sword. Golden Dawn attribution of the lovers equals Gemini is the Hebrew letter Zayin, which equals sword. For Libra, I have Jainism. Uh, Roundaboutly, let's go with the concern for every living thing being the ultimate justice concern. Like if you got really good at justice, you'd go to every being matters so much, don't kill none. Kind of the angle there. And for Aquarius, Hinduism being probably the most important religion to New Age religion. I mean, there's other angles I could take on that too. People who don't particularly like Crowley respect his lectures on yoga, you know. But that's not the angle I'd want to go on with. It's a little far out left field. I don't have to go there. And so let's see, what are we on? Yeah, okay. So next would be the religions of China. Um, Taoism on Virgo. So I'm a Taoist, dude. I'm a Virgo. Perfectly good reasoning there. I'm sure you can see that is well thought out, thoroughly researched argumentation there. And for Taurus, Confucianism. If I have to tell you, if you can't figure it out, you'll never understand. I'm not even gonna. I'm just really. I'm gonna leave it right there. And for Buddhism, of course, then would be Capricorn. And my angle on that is something like it's the religion that was introduced to China from India. Um, Fear of the unknown. uh, the devil card in Golden Dawn system. Uh, Fear of the unknown. Um, there is something very brass tacks about Buddhism. Uh, that kind of angle. And that's it. Um, yeah, so what I like about it is how you can, assign three religions for each sign. Oh, one final thing. I've got a symbol for the four regions, for each of the four regions, and I'd like to know people's thoughts on this. For the fire signs, I have a camel. Uh, and for the water signs, I have an oak leaf. Or maybe even an acorn. Don't acorns go with, aren't they oak thing? I don't know. I'll look into it. I don't even know. For the air signs, I have elephant. Indian elephant. uh, interesting tie-ins with Islam. There, they have a chapter called "The Elephant." I don't know, just thinking, just barely thinking. And for the Earth signs, I have bamboo. So both of the feminine signs are plants, and both the masculine signs are animals, and that seems to me particularly appropriate for all kinds of reasons that you should already goddamn know about. So I ain't gonna tell you shit. So all right, this has been that. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. I had this other thing I was gonna do, but no, I'm hoping this will sink into you. All right, yeah, yeah, feedback eagerly sought. Oh yeah, yeah. This is the new direction my blog is going. I'll probably convert this to audio and present it to my blog audience soon as well. That is the news, and I am out of here.